Good old-fashioned baseball, like really old, as in vintage. Hello everyone, this is Steve Myers with Urban Cool Homes, and today we're taking a step into the past and visiting the Old Cowtown Museum.
A lot of people say, oh yeah, okay, I know what baseball is, and so let's go watch baseball. And they say, what the heck are these guys doing? One of the things that we do have is two baseball teams, the Wichita Red Stockings and the Bulldozers. There was a group of volunteers that said, we like baseball. We think it would be a way to get people to come out and visit the museum. They connected us with the Vintage Baseball League, and all of a sudden, we've got games happening in Topeka. We've got games happening down south and out west. First of all, you underhand pitch. Second of all, once you've hit the ball, you can catch it on the first bounce and someone is still out. All the fielders don't have gloves, and so they're catching the ball in bare hands and that sort of a thing. And maybe that was why they bounced once and caught it, I don't know. So now we have gone past the era where you could take the ball and throw it at the runner. That was just not a good thing. So
On top of the old baseball teams, the Old Cowtown Museum has several events and activities for people of all ages throughout the year.
we have two gunfight groups that do alternate weekends, and so they provide gunfight entertainment. We also have two performance groups. We have the Daisy Long Stem Saloon Girls, and they entertain about every third weekend or so. And then we also have the Entre Social Dances. They do the proper top hat waltz. We generally do a Civil War event. We also have an event called Women of the West, where we focus on the contributions and also a look at the lives of ladies that were here. Ladies didn't have an easy time of it in our time period, and so we try to highlight some of the stuff that maybe gets romanticized in Little House on the Prairie and things like that. So then of course we got our favorite ones. We've got Hooves, Hay, and Halloween, Trick or Treat for kids, and then we wrap up the year with Victorian Christmas.
And did we mention that they put on classic shows with a Midwest twist?
We did have all sorts of melodramas where you could cheer for the hero and boo the villain, and sometimes you threw popcorn on the stage and stuff like that. And so we have resurrected, but because a number of our volunteers thought that this would be a grand thing to do, and it has turned out really, really well. We've had very, very good responses. The first one that we did was called The Treasure of Shiver River. It was a cowboy treasure hunt, so it was quite an amazing little piece. They followed that with The Wizard of Oz in the Wild West. And it was interesting to walk through the green room and see the Tin Man and the Lion looking a little bit Old Westish. Coming up in October, to go along with the Halloween theme, we have Dracula in the Old West as well. But it's a great time, and the shows are in the evenings. They usually do a couple of matinee afternoon shows, and so there's a wide range of times that you can come out and enjoy our presentations.
You don't have to wait for an event to visit the Old Cowtown Museum. You can visit the 1870s on Tuesday through Sunday during normal business hours.
Our museum is 26 acres. Right now we've got over 40 buildings, and what we are trying to show people is how the town of Wichita developed. The museum is divided up into 6 different areas, focusing on different development of the Wichita, the town. We start off with the Becoming Wichita, which is pre-1865. We've got the Buffalo Hunters and the trading post for J.R. Meade and the Native American activity. We move then into the Old Town era, which is whenever Mr. Munger starts his log cabin and the plot of land that becomes Wichita to the north. Behind us we have the residential area so that we can showcase the lifestyles of the not rich and famous. And then the bulk of the town is basically businesses that you would have seen. We also have an industrial section, and then at the far end we have our 1880 farm, so we can show agriculture that was happening. So Unfortunately, 1880, after 1880, the town starts putting in brick streets with trolleys and overhead electric wires, and we're never going to have that kind of stuff. So that's kind of why we stop where we are. But I think the one thing that I find so fascinating about our museum is that we do cover so much history in 15 years. If you have an interest in Native Americans, buffalo hunters, frontier military, we can address some of that. If you're interested in cowboys and saloon girls and proper Victorian ladies and manners and things like that, we can address that. If you're interested in farming and manufacturing, we can also address that as well. And so for people that come out, we basically have a smorgasbord of history.
Wichita has changed a lot since its establishment of a city in the 1800s, but one thing hasn't changed: the fact that it keeps on changing.
Our museum is all about change. Wichita had to constantly change and reinvent itself in order to stay viable and to continue on. To go ahead and get rid of the cattle trade was probably a very risky deal. It was kind of dying out anyways, but at the same time, to definitely say we are no longer going to be accepting cattle in our part of the country. I'm sure there were some people that had sleepless nights of like, well, what are we going to do for industry? And so we become more of a diversified industry, and it seemed to work out okay. So
thank you to Anthony Horsch and the Old Cowtown Museum for letting us visit this local gym. If you are visiting Wichita or in the area, please check them out. If you are in the market for buying or selling a home, please check out Urban Cool Homes for all your real estate needs. This is Steve Myers with Urban Cool Homes signing off.